Hey, this is David Green, host of the Bigger Pockets podcast. I'm here to talk with you guys today about when to quit and when not to quit. Okay, so when is quitting all right? Well, quitting for the wrong reason is never okay, but quitting for the right reason can definitely be okay. What's the right reason? When you started on the wrong path. Now, you shouldn't just quit trying, but you can definitely quit going in the way that you started. Let's say that you're trying to get to a destination that we'll call financial freedom, and that looks like the top of a mountain. At a certain point, you might recognize that you are going the wrong way, and it's actually taking you further away from the top of that mountain. Quitting on the wrong path to get on the right path is the best thing that you could possibly do. Here's the kind of quitting that I really don't like. It's when you change your mind and say, I don't want to get to the top of the mountain after all, when deep inside you know that you really do. People that do that are usually quitting because it was too steep, too hard, they got blisters, they weren't prepared, or they didn't think it would be as hard as it actually was to get to the top of that mountain. That's a bad reason to quit. You're giving in to the worst parts of your nature, and you will almost always regret decisions like that. Let me share with you a little bit of personal experience that I have with people that I've come across in my life that quit for the wrong reasons. Oftentimes, when life gets challenging, it's the best gift you could ever get. What you usually find when you start climbing the mountain is that you're lacking something that you need to get there. Your cardio's bad, your lungs don't work very well at these high altitudes, you're not in very good shape, you brought the wrong shoes. There's something about you that you need to change. Now, on the path to life, you actually get to change shoes in the middle of the mountain because changing your shoes is changing your mindset. You can choose to think and look at things differently than you did so that you can continue on this path. A lot of the time, we don't do that. A lot of the time, we just stop walking up the mountain because it was hard. And a lot of times, we have to tell ourselves something so we can feel better about the decision and we don't feel the shame of being a quitter. Like Brandon Turner often says, nobody wants to be the villain in their own story. The problem is this robs us of the opportunity that we had for growth. As you're walking up that mountain, you want to see the parts that show that you're not good enough, that you have a bad attitude, that you don't believe, that you don't work hard enough. You want to have the worst parts of yourselves exposed. That's really the whole reason that we're taking this journey of personal growth. When you quit, when you stop walking up that mountain, what you do is you take away the opportunity that you had to become a better version of yourself. You do get to escape the pain and the strain and the stress of walking up that mountain. What you don't get is the stronger legs that would have followed. Now, here's a secret that successful people understand. It's strong legs that make you successful. It's a strong mindset. It's the right belief system. It's the right skills. It's the right personality. It's the right connections. There's more to being successful than just understanding how a spreadsheet works. And you will get there if you stay on that journey. It doesn't matter who you are. If you stick with this long enough and you keep adapting to the situation, you will become the same person that somebody else became so that they could get the things that you want to have. The only thing that will stop you is if you quit. This is why I'm making this video. I don't want you to rob yourself of the opportunity. There are things that we all tell ourselves that make quitting easier. Here are a couple that I have found that I commonly hear people say that don't look like quitting, but they really are. Number one, I just can't do this anymore. It's something that we tell ourselves to let ourselves off the hook. It's just too hard. I just can't. Who could expect a person to keep going when they just can't? The truth is, you probably don't know what you really can or can't do. What those words often mean are, I've never done something this hard before, or this isn't as easy as I thought that it would be. It doesn't mean that you simply can't. Number two, I tried my best. This is another lie. You don't really know what your best is. In fact, none of us really know what our best is. What that word usually means is, I tried as hard at this as I have at anything else and it didn't work. That could be a problem with you. That's not always a problem with the plan that you made. Maybe you just haven't gone through enough hard things in life. Maybe you're making this harder on yourself than it really needs to be. Man, I see this one all the time. People that say they're trying their best, but they're trying in all the wrong ways. You ever play a sport and you saw that person that's working super hard at doing something that doesn't help them at all? Man, I see this in life all the time. There's people that say that they're trying their best and they're trying all the wrong stuff. Maybe they're looking up houses on Zillow and they're analyzing them over and over and over and they just can't find a deal that works. Well, who told you that Zillow was the best place to find a deal? You'd be smarter to stop looking at Zillow and start looking somewhere else. But you never get to the point where you actually realize that if you tell yourself, I tried my best, it just didn't work. Stop saying I tried my best. Be humble enough to acknowledge you don't really know what your best is. Instead, just say, I need to find a different way to try just as hard. Number three, I hear this one all the time. I just don't think it was God's plan for my life. Now, that may be the case at times that it wasn't God's plan for your life. I can't tell you what his plans are, but I'll tell you when I normally hear people say that is when something didn't come easy. When they got scared, when they got nervous, when they felt overwhelmed, rather than looking to God or some external source for strength, or even looking inside themselves for strength, they looked for a way to quit and they conveniently blamed it on God or other things. I don't think that's how life works. I don't think that anyone would ever say, it wasn't my parents' plan for me to succeed because college was hard and they had to study for a test. Yet that's the same thing that we do when we blame God or other external factors for why we quit something. Stop talking about it as if you understand what the universe's goal is for your life, and the only way that you know that you're walking the right path is if it's easy. In fact, many times in life, the downhill road is hard. Financial independence is not a downhill road. You don't just walk right into that. Debt is a downhill road. It is easy to walk right down into debt. It feels like climbing to get out of debt. In fact, what this means is if it's hard, you're probably going the right way. At least you're building the right muscles. So please keep that in mind. When you start saying things like, oh, I guess this wasn't meant to be, that actually isn't true. This is you trying to justify why you want to quit and you don't feel bad. If you're going to quit, just say, this was harder than I expected and I don't want it that bad. That is still commendable. That is still respectable. You're still being honest with yourself and everybody else. The fourth thing that I want to point out that gets in the way of people's success is blaming something other than themselves. Now, there is no shortage of things that you can blame in the world. The economy was wrong. The president was wrong. Interest rates were wrong. My agent was wrong. The seller didn't disclose something. Everybody else is buying all the deals. Brandon and David already bought all the houses. The podcast didn't tell me this. There are so many things that you can find. In fact, if you sat down for months and I gave you 6 months, I bet the entire time you could find something to blame for why something didn't happen. The reality is there's only one person to blame anytime we don't get the result we want, and that's right here. What you have to do is start off by asking yourself how you contributed to not getting the result you want. Did you not analyze enough deals? Did you not know how to analyze deals? Did you not find the right deals to analyze? Are you too shy to go meet people that are going to show you the way? Are you the opposite? You're not shy enough. All you do is talk to people and you never actually get down to work. There's something that you're not doing that other people are that are having success that you're not having, and you're only going to find it by looking at yourself. Friends, I promise you, there is never going to be a time that you run out of things or people to blame. It just doesn't happen. There will be so many reasons that you could say that you didn't hit your goals. That's the downhill path. The reality is other people have hit them. You can hit them, but you're not going to hit them if you tell yourself these kinds of lies. Look, you can have everything that everybody else has. You can have more than what they have if you just do more than what they did. The key, the secret, the number one thing you've got to know is you can't let yourself quit. As you walk the journey, pressure's going to build. You're going to see yourself get exposed in areas that you're not good enough yet. Whether you're starting a business, you're buying real estate, you're even working your job, you will have times that you realize that the version of you that you are right now is not enough. And the bigger goal you set out for, the more you're going to realize about yourself that needs to change. This is the best gift that you could ever get. Embrace it, love it, welcome it, ask for it, seek feedback from others about how you could be better. That's how you're going to get to your goal. Don't take that pressure and say, I have to escape from it, and the only way that I can is quitting. My promise to you is if that's what you do, if you escape pressure from quitting, your life will continue to get harder. You'll escape all the pressure of personal growth, and instead what you'll experience is all the pressure of being broke or having financial stress or having a job that you don't love. You have to pick one or the other. You're going to work on yourself and be uncomfortable and have most of the rest of life taken care of, or you're going to be comfortable and have suffering and stress in the rest of life. It's a choice that we all have to make. I highly encourage you to the one thing that will give you the best chance of success, and it's to look at yourself and ask where you can change to get the result that you want. It's the only thing that any of us control.